Okay. So today we'll go through the partnership business, right? Partnership business. First of all, you have to make yourself clear what we mean by partnership. Partnership is two or more people actually put together with an intention to carry on a specific or a kind of business, right? And they will share whatever the profit or loss generated in between them. That is all about partnership. But here, the most important thing is, before establishing a kind of partnership business, you need to create a partnership deed. You need a partnership deed. What does it mean? Partnership deed is a kind of formal agreement. It actually depicts how the partnership business created and what are the different kinds of capital invested by each individual partners. And the most importantly, you have to focus partnership deed. Within the partnership deed, the individuals come to with a settlement that how the profit will be shared in between them. It will be possible the profit will be shared equally, 30-70%, 40-60%, different percent will be settled. But this profit sharing ratio will be settled in this partnership deed. And according to this partnership deed, end of the day, the partnership profit will be distributed in between the partners. Clear? So now, in all this chapter, we actually try to focus how this profit arises within the partnership business will be distributed according to the partners or in between the partners. That is, can I say? For a video, they can. Don't go sit down. So now the thing is partnership profit division, or you can say appropriation. Profit appropriation. Profit division or profit appropriation. It means how the profit will be distributed in between the partners. It's a process. And this actually done with a specific kind of ledger account which is called profit appropriation. Just like the other ledger account, it's the profit appropriation ledger account. Initially, whatever the profit actually arises in a partnership business, just like the sole tradership. The difference is, in the case of sole tradership business, the total amount of profit is entitled to the owner, because there is only one owner who actually established the business or take the initiative. But the difference is in the case of partnership business, because there are two or more partners. The profit is entitled to that all individual. Now the case is you have to distribute or apportion this profit in between them. That's why a specific kind of ledger account actually needed, which is called profit appropriation account. Here, whatever the profit arises in the business, that profit is a kind of liability for the business, right? So initially the profit actually credited, or you can say brought forward, BD. Profit generated. Initially, the profit actually brought forward or credited in the profit appropriation account. Now, suppose as for example, there are two partners. One is X, another is Y. And for our understanding, suppose profit arises is $100. Right? Now, this profit will be distributed or appropriated, apportioned in between these two partners. As for example, X will be provided $60 and Y will be provided $40. Right? So this is called profit appropriation account. Right? So here we distribute this total $100 profit in between X and Y. This is not a thing of, this distribution is not apparent. There is a systematic approach. So we have to focus how this distribution 60 and 40 actually done. Clear? Double check, sir. So now we will focus how this profit actually distributed. How this profit 60 and 40 actually apportioned in between the partners. The thing is, profit is distributed in between the partners, first of all, according to salary. It may be possible that is some partners invested capital, that's why they are the partner. At the same time, they take part in daily operation. That's why they take a kind of salary, number one. So we can distribute the portion of profit in between the partners according to the salary. Then number two, interest on capital employment. Suppose, as for example, one partner invests $100, another partner invests $200. 10% interest will be provided. So 10% of 100 and 10% of 200. That is interest on capital we can distribute in between the partners for the profit. Suppose these are the two different ways how we can distribute or apportion the profit in between the partners. The remaining profit will be distributed according to the partners according to PSR. Suppose, as for example, your total profit of a business is $100, right? Salary X and Y. X and Y, according to their salary, they are providing total salary, suppose $20. Interest provided to X and Y, as for example, $50. $70. The remaining $30 will be distributed in between the partners according to the PSR ratio, profit sharing ratio, which is agreed in the partnership deed. As for example, suppose both the partners will be shared equal amount of profit each and every time. So in that case, each individual will be provided $15 and $15, right? So this is the way how you can appropriate the profit generated in between the partners. That is, profit will be appropriate division according to salary, interest, and remaining will be PSR. There are some other components will be there. We will discuss later. So this is how we actually distribute the total profit generated in between the partners. As for example, earlier we have said X will be provided $60, Y will be provided $40. Clear? So this is the profit appropriation account. Now, the thing is, in sole tradership and partnership business, capital part. When you prepare the financial statement for a sole tradership business, there will be a part of capital, and the capital is just like that. Suppose, as for example, capital is capital. As for example, or any amount of profit less drawings, that is written profit, actually add this capital. Suppose written profit is $50, so your total capital $150. So this is the movement of capital in sole tradership. But when you are thinking about the partnership business, these capital accounts are segregated or divided in two different groups or two different divisions. One is capital account and another is current account. What is that? Capital account means long-term investment by the individual partner. Suppose, as for example, X and Y. X invest $100 and Y invest $200. So this is the long-term investment to run the business. This is their capital account. So we can find out CD 100 and BD That means long-term capital, or you can say fixed capital, fixed amount of capital. That's why this is capital account. For X, that is $100, and for Y, that is $200. Not for Y. Clear? Current account. Another which is part of the capital, that is called current account. The current account actually represent how or what portion of profit actually distributed in between the partner, and what will be the balances end of the day after drawings by the individual partner. Suppose as for example, X and Y. In this fixed term, the profit actually shared or apportioned, you can say appropriation in between X and Y. Suppose as for example, X is provided $100 of total profit and Y is provided $50 of total profit. So initially, current account represent how or what portion of total profit is distributed in between the partners. And drawings. Suppose within this term, X draw $20 and Y $10. Y draw $10. Drawings, any kinds of amount we draw by the partners. So drawings actually done from the profit appropriated. Clear? So end of the day we can find out CD. CD here, CD is 80 and here 40. So BD is 80 and 40. So for partner X and Y, end of the period after appropriate the profit and drawings, their current account or current account balance for X is $80 and for Y is $40. So end of the XY, these are the partners and these are the total profit generated. Profit is appropriated in between. And this is their investment, initial investment. Clear? That's why this is called fixed investment, long-term investment. That's why this is called capital account and this is current account. So current account represent what portion of profit is apportioned, appropriation or division, and from that what amount is drawing or withdrawn by the partner. So end of the day what will be their balances. So as a whole you can say total capital. Total capital for X, that is $100 and this $80. Total capital is $180 for partner X. For Y, total capital is 200 and this 40, that is 240. Here, this is their total capital. But here, in the case of sole tradership, we just create the movement of the capital directly. But in the case of partnership business, we have to divide the capital into capital account and current account. One important note you have to remember, that is, we have discussed, that is percentage on capital. Interest is the percentage of capital, which is a kind of appropriation process of profit in between the partners. Suppose as for example, 10% of capital is provided. 10% of capital is provided as a kind of interest. This 10% will always on the fixed amount of capital, not in the current account. Clear? That means how or what amount of interest you are going to provide according to from your profit to different partners, that percentage will be charged on the capital account, fixed capital, not the current account. Current account just representation of profit, appropriation and drawings and the end of the day balances. Clear? So in every case 10% interest will be provided on capital investment, not the current account. So clear? Now the thing is we have discussed current account, right? It is a part of the capital. So normal sense, profit X and Y. Suppose total $100 profit. $100 profit is appropriated $60 here and $40 here, as for example. And drawings X and Y. Suppose X draw $10 and Y withdraw $20. So we can find out CD. CD is for X, that is 50, and for Y, that is 20. That means BD. You can say for X this is 50, and for Y this is 20. So according to current account, X balance is $50 and Y's balance is $20. So it is normal scenario that is a part of current account, is a part of capital. That's why the balance is debt balance. But in some cases, these are the drawings. So X has $60. Within that $60, X withdraw $10. So X has only $50 remaining. So this is the CD, closing balance. Obviously, this is the BD, brought forward balance. So normal scenario, I want to say that is current account is a part of capital. That means it is normal scenario that its balance will be in credit side, right? Capital is a paid balance. But in some cases, this balance may be debit balance. What is that? Suppose, as for example, X has $60 of profit apportion or division. What about the total profit? From that profit, X is provided $60. But somehow X withdraw $70. Very possible. So when X is drawing $70, in that case, see, if you want to find out the CD will be here $10. And for Y will be just $20. Now the fact is BD for Y, BD is $20, but for X, BD is $10. Why this $10 in debit side? Because here in the current account, according to current account, X is drawing more than the amount of profit he is provided. That means he withdraw all the portion of his profit as well as some portion of his capital invested. Capital means fixed capital. Clear? Fixed amount of capital. So that's why it is a debit balance. Debit balance means when the partner actually draw more than the investment, than the profit appropriated. Then it may be debit balance. Clear? So if the situation is just like this, as for example, suppose you are dealing with the capital part. Suppose, so according to capital account, X balance is as for example $100 and current account balance for X is $10, which is debit side. As it is a part of capital and debit side, it should be negative. That means as a whole, X total capital is $90. That means as X is drawing more than the profit appropriated, that means $60 and $10 extra. That $10 obviously he actually draw from his invested capital. That's why the invested capital lowered $90. Clear? So it may be possible. Now the thing is, if you focus on the journal segment, journal, in that case, how this $10 can be represented? This $10 we actually discussed from the current account recognition, current account drawings. So here, current account leasing, right? Debit side capital in the debit part means capital leasing. So we will debit current account $10 and credit, this is a part of appropriation, profit appropriation. Profit appropriation account, credit $10. So it will make me sense that is here I am just reducing my current account. Clear? But after appropriation of profit, if your current account arises, that means if the balance remaining the credit side, in that case, debit appropriation account $10, as for example, and credit current account balance $10. Here we are increasing my current account balance. As it is credit, that means capital is increasing. Clear? This is. Now we have to memorize another important thing. That is, we have discussed in the case of profit appropriation, salary, then interest on capital investment. These are the way of distributing process. These are the way of devising profit. Take alada korar way. There is a difference between when you are providing salary to an employee and whenever the partner is providing a specific salary. There is a difference between these two salaries. If you are providing salary to an individual employee, it's a kind of expense for the business. Suppose the thing is, when you are providing salary to an employee, it's a kind of expense for the business. When expenses arises, then salary expense, or you can say wage expense, as for example $10 to cash or bank $10 or payable $10. So here we are representing salary is a kind of expense. This expense actually comes in the income statement, right? This actually comes in the income statement part. But when the salary is provided to a partner, here the salary provided to a partner or salary drawn by a partner, this is not a kind of expense for the business. This is simply a way of dividing profit in between the partners. That's why we cannot represent this salary as a kind of expense. This is simply division of profit. And we have already discussed, that is, we divide the profit or appropriate the profit from the current account. That's why here this will be current account balance $10 to credit bank or cash. So when you are writing current account rather than salary expense, here you are representing, that is, you are drawing some amount. Being a member or being a partner of the business, you are drawing some amount from the profit. This is not a kind of expense. It just reduces the current account capital. Clear? Okay. So we have already discussed salary, interest on capital. These are not the expense for the business. These are simply way of distributing profit in between the partners. Clear? Okay. Now, shop salary to only salary to the partners. If the salary is provided to the employee, that is a kind of expense, wage expense. Now, we'll go forward a kind of example, that is according to your book, profit appropriation. Suppose, as for example, according to your book, as for example, this is example after 3.1. Example 3.1, there is a note and there is a example after just 3.1. That's why I am writing example 3.1. Here, see, Pike and Scar are in partnership and have the following profit sharing agreement. Interest on capital is to be provided at a rate of 8%. That means whatever the capital they invested on that total capital, 8% will be provided them as a kind of interest. B, Pike and Scar receive salary of 6,000 and 8,000 respectively. As Pike and Scar are partners, whatever the salary is provided to them, it's a kind of profit appropriation, not the expense. Then the remaining profit will be distributed according to the PSR, profit sharing ratio, and this ratio actually established in the partnership deed, where profit should be distributed in between the partners according to 3:2 ratio. And the net profit for the year amount is 20,000. Now the thing is, what amount of this profit will be provided to Pike and Scar. So how this can be done? Pike, Scar. Total profit is 20,000. Profit is 20,000. That means we are going to appropriate or divide this profit in between these two partners, depend upon some basis. Basis we have already discussed here. Salary, they are provided salary. Pike is provided 6,000 and 8,000 respectively. 6,000 and 8,000 respectively. So from this total profit 20,000, according to profit, they are provided 6 plus 8, that means 14,000. 14,000 is already provided. Then interest on capital. Pike's fixed capital is 12,000, and Scar fixed capital is 9,000. So interest is provided how much? That is 8%. 8% interest on 12,000 and 8% interest on 9,000 will be provided as a kind of interest. That is 960 and 720. 960 and 720. So this is total 1680. So by providing salary and by providing interest on capital, total amount already distributed 15,680. 15,680. That means from this profit 20,000, 15,000 already distributed according to this way. Remaining profit is 4,320. This is the remaining 320. This is the remaining profit. We have discussed the remaining profit will be distributed in between the partners according to their PSR ratio. PSR we have already said or discussed, that is profit sharing ratio. It is established in the partnership deed, that is 3:2%. 3:2%. So now the remaining this amount of profit will be distributed according to this 3:2 ratio in between these two partners, and that is the amount will be 2590, 2592, and here it will be 1728. 1728. See, this total amount is 20,000. That means we have distributed this 20,000 profit in between Pike and Scar, two different partners. When you add up all this amount, here this will be 9,552, and here this will be 10,448. If you add up these two things, it will be just like the 20,000. So we can say after appropriating the profit 20,000, Pike's share will be 9,552 and Scar shares will be 10,448. Clear? So if you want to build up the appropriate or profit appropriation ledger, how you can do that? That is profit appropriation account. Here initially the total profit will be credited, right? Total profit credited, that means our profit was 20,000. This profit is distributed in between Pike and Scar according to this amount. So Pike will be provided 9,552 and Scar will be provided 10,448. This is profit appropriation account we have already discussed. Clear? Then This is way. Now you have to memorize another important thing. Interest on capital we have already discussed. That means this amount of interest is provided. Suppose as for example 10% interest is provided. That means being a partner, how much you are investing in your fixed capital account. From that or on that, this portion or this percentage of interest is provided as a kind of profit, interest. What থেকে দেওয়া হচ্ছে from profit. Interest will be charged. Interest may be provided, interest may be charged. Charge means, as for example, suppose we create a partnership business, right? One of our individual partner draws some specific amount. He can draw them. But according to our partnership deed, we have discussed any amount of drawings, from any amount of drawings, 10% will be a kind of charge. That means, যদি কেউ আমাদের কাছ থেকে টাকা তুলে, ব্যবসা থেকে কেউ টাকা ড্র করে, যে অ্যামাউন্টটা ড্র করবে তার উপরে 10% তাকে কি করতে হবে? ইন্টারেস্ট ব্যবসাকে দিতে হবে। তাহলে হিয়ার ইন্টারেস্ট অন ক্যাপিটাল ইজ প্রোভাইডেড টু দি পার্টনার। ইন্টারেস্ট দেওয়া হচ্ছে। আর হিয়ার ইন্টারেস্ট ইজ এ কাইন্ড অফ চার্জ ফর দ্য পার্টনার। পার্টনার টোটাল অ্যামাউন্ট থেকে কেটে নেওয়া হচ্ছে। বোঝা গেছে? আবার এটা এরকম হতে পারে। There may be a provision that any time the partner can make some loan. Suppose think yourself, if you borrow a kind of loan or amount of loan from the bank, in that case you have to provide interest on that. Just like the same way, if you draw some specific amount as a kind of loan from the partnership business, you have to provide interest on that. So when you are providing interest rather getting, this is a kind of charge for the business. Clear? The interest হচ্ছে if any kinds of drawings offered by the partner, পার্টনাররা যদি কোনো ড্র করে তাকে তার অ্যামাউন্টের উপরে যে ড্র করতেছে সেই অ্যামাউন্টের উপরে তাকে ইন্টারেস্ট ব্যাংকে দিত, এখানে ব্যবসায় দিত। সো ইটস দ্য কাইন্ড অফ চার্জ বিকজ এটা তাকে দিতে হচ্ছে। আর এখানে দিস ইজ এ কাইন্ড অফ ইনকাম। Just we'll go forward an example, that is, this is your activity 3. This is your activity 3. Before doing the activity, how we will calculate this amount? See, according to activity 3, here you have to use a tricky way to find out the portion of the profit appropriated in between the partners. কিভাবে করবে একটা ফিক্স বলে দেওয়া আছে। তো ছোট একটা এক্সাম্পল দেওয়া হয়েছে, তারপরে activity 3 করব। Suppose initially your profit is $100 to be apportioned in between the partners. As for example, and interest on drawings is suppose 10%. আর পার্সন এখানে পার্টনার্স আছে সাপোজ অ্যাজ ফর এক্সাম্পল x and y, x 100 টাকা ড্র করছে আর y 200 টাকা ড্র করছে, সাপোজ অ্যাজ ফর এক্সাম্পল। সো দ্যাট মিন্স x borrow $100 from the partnership business and y borrow $200 from the partnership business. And according to partnership deed, individual who borrow from the partnership business, we have to provide 10% interest on that, as for example. So here, this is a kind of interest charge. So here, to appropriate the profit account, that means how you can distribute the profit. Initially, you have to charge interest. What amount? 10% of 100, that is $10, and 10% of 200, that is $20. It's the kind of charge. Charge means that is whatever the total amount you have from the business, from that amount it should be deducted. That's why this is charge. That's why it should be put in bracket. Total amount is $100. 30 total. Here the total should be recorded in positive way, 30. This is the fix. Then our profit, we will distribute this profit just like the previous way. As for example, suppose salary, each individual salary, we have just discussed salary. Suppose salary 60 and here $40 salary. How much total? $100. Suppose this is the way how we distribute the total amount. So, see, end of the day, you, after appropriating the profit, here X balance is 50 and Y's balance is 20. This is the profit appropriation. And total amount is 130. We distribute 130 as a whole. $30 is the charge, we distribute that, and $100 is a kind of profit which is distributed between the partner according to their salary. Some other portion may be there, but the fact is you have to memorize this portion. Charge should be deducted and added first. Then profit should be appropriate just like the previous one. End of the day, it will provide you the profit appropriation. This is one important thing. Another important thing that you have to focus or follow, that is, in some cases, guaranteed minimum profit. Guaranteed minimum profit means, suppose as for example initially whatever the discussion we have done, we can go through according to activity 3. We can see that. So এখানে activity 3 তে ওটি করে একটা কাউন্ট দেয়া আছে চার্জ কিভাবে করে। সো এটা go through করলেই হবে। যদি না পারো নেক্সট ক্লাসে I will go through that. Today I just focus on conceptual part of this chapter. Clear? Guaranteed minimum profit. Profit means suppose X, Y, Z, these are the 3 different partners. Profit can be apportioned between or divided between these 3 partners. But at a time, X is provided a kind of guarantee. That is, X will be provided $1,000 each and every time. Suppose as for example. Clear? So it will be provided. That is, at any time, X profit should be $1,000. That means this is minimum guaranteed minimum amount of profit. It may be more than this, but not less than this. Clear? Minimum this amount to be provided as a kind of profit application to the X. This is provided. So this is additional information with the previous information. So the thing is, if suppose X, Y, Z, after appropriating the profit in previous way, everything is done just like the previous. Suppose end of the day, the total profit X is 800, Y is suppose 200, and Z, suppose Z is 500. After appropriating the profit, this amount comes forward. Clear? But the fact is, X is provided a guaranteed. That means X should be provided at least 1,000. So this 200 comes from Y and Z. Suppose as for example, the PSR ratio was profit sharing ratio in between these 3 partners is suppose 2:3:4. Clear? Now the thing is, X should be provided at least 1,000. But normal way we have discussed or we have calculated, X is provided 800. So this 200 should be collected from Y and Z. How the way or how you can calculate this? That is, Y and Z, in between Y and Z, the PSR ratio is 3:4. So Y should be provided this 200 total. From this 200, y should be provided by 7 into 3, this amount, and z have to provide it from this 200, 4 by 7. Clear? This amount should be provided from z. So suppose, as for example, it comes 150 and it comes 50. So 200 as a whole established here, total 1000 is provided to x, and here y profit becomes 50 and z profit becomes 450, because some portion is cutted from them, and this kernel actually done through the PSR ratio between that person. Clear? বোঝা গেছে? নরমালি আমরা প্রফিট যেভাবে শেয়ার করি, শেয়ার করে দেখলাম এই 800, এই 200, এই 500 টাকা। এখন বলে দেয়া আছে x কে 1000 দিতে হবে প্রফিট, তাহলে x কে আরো 200 কোথা থেকে দিতে হবে? 200 দিতে হবে। আমাদের প্রশ্ন হচ্ছে এই 200 টাকা কোথা থেকে নিয়ে আসবো? এই 200 টাকা নিয়ে আসবো y আর z থেকে। কিভাবে আনবো? y থেকে আনবো 200, PSR রেশিও y আর z এর মধ্যে কত ছিল? 3:4। 3:4 এর অনুপাতে 200 থেকে y থেকে কাটলো, z থেকে কাটলো। মনে করো এক্সাম্পল, সাপোজ as for example y থেকে কাটতে হচ্ছে, সাপোজ এটা অনুপাত করে আসছে 150, মানে y এর যে প্রফিট আছে তার থেকে 150 কেটে নিয়ে যাচ্ছে, কেটে নিয়ে এখানে দিচ্ছি, তাহলে থাকছে কত? 50। আর as for example সাপোজ এর থেকে কাটতেছে 50, তাহলে এর থাকছে কত? 450। So this is a way how the guaranteed profit to a partner is provided. দিতে হবে বাধ্য, because this is established in the partnership deed. It's the rule. Partnership deed, whatever the thing is done in the partnership deed, that's the kind of rule, or you can say law for that partnership business. Every partner or every member of the business is bound to obey that. Calculation বোঝা গেছে? Okay. So this is another important. So these are the different things that you have to calculate. So in your example, according to FA2, these things actually, what amount of profit will be apportioned to X or Z to different components is provided. Clear? Now, another important thing is loss. Partnership loss. The fact is, here loss doesn't mean the business is committing loss. Here loss doesn't mean that business is committing loss. Here loss means what amount should be apportioned or divided in between the partner. Profit is not that amount. Profit is less than that. Suppose, as for example, your profit that to be apportioned, suppose $100. Here, in between X and Y, they are provided salary. Suppose, as for example, $50 and $60. Interest and capital and other things, we are not discussing about that. Just salary. So according to, if you want to provide them salary X and Y, the salary is 50 and 60. In that case, your requirement is 110. But you have profit only $100, right? $100. That means $10 is shortfall, and this $10 is called loss. So in the case of partnership, loss doesn't mean that is the business is committing loss. Here loss means the required amount is more than the profit. So how you can do that? First of all, distribute the thing. Then this amount $10 actually shortfall. So this $10 should be distributed in between. Suppose this $10, as for example, the PSR ratio is 1:1. That means remaining profit should be distributed between the partner according to equal basis, equally. So now this $10 here $5, here $5, but this is loss. That means end of the day, X will be provided $45 and Y will be provided 50. $5. As a whole total. Clear? So loss will be distributed according to this way. So after distributing the loss, you can have the total apportioned profit. Clear? So these are the several components of partnership business. Whatever the mathematical problem that you have to face or you are going to face is all depends on this discussion. So next class I will একটা খাতা নিয়ে আসবো, নতুন খাতা আমি লিখবো, ওটা দেখে একটা খাতা নিয়ে আসবো, আগামীকালকে ক্লাসে নিয়ে আসবো, তুমি ওই খাতার মধ্যে লিখবে, অঙ্কগুলো ওখানে করবে, তাহলে তোমার ওটা বোঝা যাবে। সো ডিসকাশন ক্লিয়ার, বোঝা গেছে? এখন নাও দ্য এন্ড অফ দ্য পার্ট, দ্যাট ইজ গুডউইল। Entrance of new partner. It is important. When any kinds of partnership business arises or come to daylight, it means there is a kind of partnership deed. And within the partnership deed, obviously there is a PSR, profit sharing ratio. Any change within the business, the initial partnership business will automatically dissolve. It is by law. That means, as for example, there are three partners. One partner want to leave the group. When that individual partner leave the group, the previous partnership deed will automatically dissolve and PSR ratio will automatically dissolve. The next two partners will create new PSR ratio. This is one thing. Even three partners start a business, then a new partner want to enter. The day when the new partner enter, from that day, the business is a kind of new business. New PSR ratio should be activated, right? So in the case of goodwill calculation, goodwill means goodwill is a kind of example of intangible non-current asset. Intangible non-current asset means this is non-monetary asset which doesn't have any kinds of physical existence, but it's a kind of asset. As for example, brand name, patent, copyright. Then suppose a kind of video of a program. These all are asset, but you cannot touch that, right? So these are, you can say, these are intellectual asset, intellectual non-current asset for the business. Clear? Another thing is how this goodwill will be calculated when the business actually newly formed for any of the activity. Goodwill deed, that means extra amount that business has rather than its net asset. Net asset থেকে বেশি যতটুকু থাকে সেটাই goodwill. Another thing is, suppose as for example, initially day one there are two different partners, X and Y, and goodwill is, suppose as for example, $100. And initially their PSR ratio is 1:1. Here we have discussed goodwill is a part of what kind of thing? We have said extra amount rather than the net asset. Net asset equal to capital. So you can say this is a part of capital also. So how this goodwill will be activated or calculated? In the case of partnership business, this goodwill should be calculated in the capital account. Capital account, that means fixed amount of capital or amount that is invested by the initial investor for long-term basis. Clear? Suppose as for example, initially X and Y, X invested $500 and Y invested $200. This is their initial capital. Here, now at 31st December, suppose as for example, 31st December, Z, a new partner will enter. At this date, the goodwill is $100. So this goodwill actually, suppose as for example, this is the value of the brand name. This brand name or image is actually created by this X and Y. So this $100 at the date of entry of a new partner, when the business becomes new, this goodwill will be entitled in between these two partners because they are responsible for creating this goodwill. So in this day, this goodwill will be distributed between the partner according to their PSR ratio. According to our example, suppose equally distributed. It may be different ratio. So here it will be 50 and 50. Credit side means goodwill increasing the capital portion. Now, in this day, 31st December, Z come up with $100 investment. Z come with $100 investment. So this day, goodwill distributed already, and new partner start. That's why the business become newly formed. So the PSR ratio should be different. Suppose today, after entering Z, X, Y, and Z, PSR ratio is suppose 1 is to 2 is to 3. Suppose as for example. So now this goodwill, it is assumed that end of this day, this goodwill to be proportion in between the three partners according to their new PSR ratio. So X, Y, and Z is $100 will be apportioned in between X, Y, Z according to 1 is to 3 is to 2. Suppose as for example this is 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, whatever. 16. I'm sure. In the path of the story. It is all just divide this 100 according to 1 is to 3 is to 3 over 3. We can suppose as for example I'm like a Russian name. As for example this is 10. This will be suppose 20, 30, suppose this is 30. Suppose as for example. So now we can find out the CD. CD of this CD is the end capital balance of individual. So the fact is initially the day of entrance with the new partner, the goodwill will be distributed in between the existing partner according to their existing PSR ratio. End of the newly entrance, next day this goodwill should be abolished in between the partner according to their new PSR ratio. So end of the day you can find out the balance of the fixed capital of these three partners. Clear? Okay. তাহলে দেখো এদের ব্যালেন্স এই দুজনের ব্যালেন্স যা থাকবে সেটা কমবে না, বাট এ ব্যালেন্স কমবে বিকজ হি হ্যাভ টু প্রোভাইড সাম স্পেসিফিক অ্যামাউন্ট ফর দ্যাট গুডউইল অলসো। বুঝা গেছে? সো নেক্সট ক্লাস উইল ডিসকাস দিস ইন খাতা। ওকে, সো দিস আর এভরিথিং। আজকে ওই যে বই দেখানো আছে না, বই দেখাচ্ছি, বইটা পড়ো, কালকে প্রবলেম দেখাবো, তারপর আমরা বই যে সব প্রবলেম আছে এক্সাম নিয়ে আসবো। ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ।